We are delighted to have you here at the PHILSME Business Show. This is a business podcast and vodcast dedicated to help SME business owners like you boost your business. On today's episode, we meet two Filipino leaders changing the lives of SME business owners. Hannah is the executive producer of Sine Haraya Productions. In a world where businesses are fighting to be seen and remembered, Hannah believes that visual marketing isn't just a trend, it's one of the most basic yet most powerful business solutions. Marby is the founder of Prevo, an inclusive skills development app for Filipinos that offers community and local expert-led learning experiences for every Filipino learner. She comes with over 16 years of experience in HR and learning and development. Stay tuned for a few messages from the sponsors that made this episode happen.
Streamline your business processes to elevate overall productivity and enhance management effectiveness with AutoCount Business Solutions. Visit AutoCount's website at ph.autocountsoft.com today to learn more.
The difference between working a simple job and developing a career is one's attitude. Do your employees think of their work and personal goals in the long term? Are you prepared to provide the healthcare support they need to become successful individuals and contributors to your business? Help your employees become stronger advocates for their goals and their own health through regular checkups at any The Medical City near you. The Medical City network of hospitals and the Medical City Clinic can support your employees in their entire work journey through employment checkups, customized healthcare service packages, corporate health and wellness activities, and inpatient discounts. For partnership inquiries, you may email managed-careunit@themedicalcity.com or visit tmcph.co/PhilSME-CHAMP for corporate accreditation.
Welcome to the PHILSME Business Show. My name is Hannah Granda from Sine Haraya Advertising Corporation.
And I am Marby Tabungar. I'm the founder of Prevo. And Prevo and Sine Haraya are members of the PHILSME Business Network. I remember attending one of the online events of PHILSME. So there were hundreds of participants in the session. I remember the speaker asked a question and then I shared my story. And then all of a sudden, people were sending me messages and telling me how relatable the thing that I shared with them. So I really felt like I belonged to a community, right? When you're with PHILSME, you feel like you're safe. The people around you could relate to what you are talking about. So I really felt that I belong during that session. How about you?
For me, last year was actually our first time joining. So last year was a huge surprise na parang we felt like, why haven't we been doing this for the longest time? Bakit now lang? Kasi I think what I like most about PHILSME is everybody comes in with the intention of meeting people to collaborate, to find suppliers and how to offer yourself and also get from other people, like a real network should be. So when we were there, it was very surprising.
Right? Because there are other groups where you just meet people but don't really get to connect deeply.
Yeah, or I've experienced a group na you come in but everybody's trying to get something from other people, like to sell. But this time, like in PHILSME, we were standing on our booth. It was our first time, and people would line up, and the first question they would ask is not, "Let me introduce myself." Their first question is, "So what is your business? What do you offer?" And then the next question is, "How can your business support my business?" So it's a real collaboration, a real network. So I feel like it's my most memorable. It's my only experience in PHILSME, but it's really talagang cherry on top of our business journey. For Sine Haraya, actually, our services kasi revolves around talaga marketing and visuals. But what we notice, creatives, like how do you brand yourself? Like in the same way that different brands have the same red color, but one color talaga specific for one brand. But that's hard to do, lalo na with social media. So social media is really good.
It's so noisy.
Exactly. Exactly, kasi parang social media, it really leveled the playing field in terms of a new coming business or like a startup or a small business or even someone na hindi popular in the playing field can be as noisy as the big corporation. So it leveled the playing field, that's true. But the problem is, pati scammers, pati mga non-registered businesses can be just as loud or just assumingly credible. So the real businesses who have the documentation, who are passionate about the services they provide, what they do, they have the portfolio exactly, ma'am. Parang, okay, how do I stand out now? Kasi social media is so noisy. Yeah, so that's where we come in. So we try to help our clients, like we marry branding and photography and videography, the visual part, plus the branding to reach yung market. So how do you do that in terms of visuals? So that's where we come in.
Right, like you are able to work with brands so that they could deliver a compelling message, right, that will hit their target market. Yeah, that's
Lalo
really
na ma'am ngayon, since social media is about scrolling, so parang actually some people get zombie mode na, like
they have a term for that, yung doom scrolling, right? Like you wouldn't even notice that you're scrolling na for an hour, late ka na pala.
kaya matutulog ka na, tapos you're like, sige, I'll just check my messages, tapos biglang, 3 hours later. So it's really about creating the right message in terms of visuals, kasi some people won't get to the point of listening or reading your message. Yeah, just one look. Meron kaming sinasabi na the 1-second test, which is if you have a visual and you look 1 second, then you look away, parang, do you remember anything about the artwork you just posted? So if you did not get anything, yung mga doom scrollers, most likely were not engaged. Yeah. What about Prevo, ma'am?
So for Prevo, what we do is we're operating in the HR and training space. So my background really is I'm an HR and training consultant, but we see that there's some challenges that small to medium-sized companies are experiencing in terms of developing their employees. Diba? Lalo na ngayon na ang dami ng bago when it comes to technology, how you deal with your colleagues, how do you manage stress, diba? How do you communicate with your customers, with your clients. So it's really hard to keep up right now with the skills that you need to develop. And if you're an SME, usually you don't have a lot of resources. Kasi my background is I'm a consultant for big organizations. And usually they have the resources to hire a consultant like me. Pero paano naman yung mga nagtatrabaho or may mga small businesses that don't have access to those big resources? Diba? So what we're trying to address is really make learning and development accessible to more Filipino workers. I remember we have a client, they've been managing different facilities all over the Philippines. So they hired us to train them, and then we gave them access to our platform because we have a platform. I remember one of their employees said, during our face-to-face, pero prior to the workshop, they've gone through some courses na on our site. Pagdating niya dun sa session namin, she was holding all the certificates. Sabi niya, Miss Marby, ang dami kong natutunan just in a few days that I've gone through your site. That she wasn't able to do for the longest time. Kasi nga, hindi accessible ang L&D sa mga small businesses or SMEs. So,
do you think, Miss Marby, same yung HR problems ng small and large corporations? Is it the same ba, but scale lang yung difference?
There are things that are similar, things that are different. Syempre, iba nga pagka, for example, if you have a big company, you could have systems in place, technology in place, kasi you'd be able to afford that, right? For example, in hiring people, diba? You could have systems, you could have all the assessments, etc. And mahal yun. Right? But for an SME, kaya mo bang magbayad ng assessment? For example, we're selling assessments yung iba. Sa mga malalaking companies, it's quite expensive. So, iba-iba eh. Iba-iba rin talaga. So, you really have to find or understand the problems of an SME and be able to respond to that. And sa ngayon, ang ina-address namin is yung skills gaps talaga. So for Prevo, specifically designed for the solution that we have for SMEs is So if, for example, you're a business owner, for example, Sine Haraya, would like to invest on developing their staff, diba? They would just go onto our website. We're developing our app, but for now, you'll go to our website and you subscribe to our site. Whether you're just paying for yourself as an entrepreneur or as a freelancer, ganyan. Or if you have a small team or a big team, so you can go to our site, subscribe to it, and then your employees or yourself could already have access to the learning programs that we have there, such as we're doing online programs every month. For example, we're doing training programs on how you could better serve your customers, how could you better communicate with your colleagues or your bosses, how do you problem solve. Diba? Oo, diba? If you think, minsan common siya, but the truth is nowadays, we don't know if it's a pretty common skill. So we're doing that regularly. We also have mga online courses available on the site. And we're also trying to build a community of learners within the platform. Lalo na tayong mga Pinoy, hindi natin kasi kaya yung magle-learn on our own. Gusto natin may kausap, diba, pagka nagle-learn. So that's what we're trying to build as well. So just go to our site and all of the programs are available there. How about for Sine Haraya? How could they access your solution?
For Sine Haraya, it's really, the most important part is really yung discovery part. That's also the part that most clients neglect. So the solution comes, I think it's the same for HRA. You need to find yung needs. You analyze the needs, nasan yung gap from where you are now and where you want to be and why you're not reaching your marketing targets. I think it's the same for HR. There's a gap there. So yung analyzing and discovering that part is very valuable. So for us, it starts there in the discovery call, the discovery meeting. We have to find out muna where the client is struggling in terms of reaching yung message niya, why it doesn't reach the right people or in the way they want to. Maybe it's the wrong tool, maybe it's not photos, maybe it should be on video, maybe it should be on a website, maybe it should be on social media, maybe it should be on a billboard. So once we discover that, including there is yung discovering also ano yung limitations ng client in terms of budget, in terms of time, in terms of tools and manpower. Basta the discovery part is where the solution will brew. So from the discovery part, that's where we start the production. So we do the script writing, we do the planning, the pre-production.
You do the whole thing.
Yeah, it's a full production talaga. We do the whole thing. So there's storyboarding if it's a video. We find pegs, that's also very important. Pegs naman is the way we communicate. Kasi, if I may, let me give a parang reason why sa name namin, Sine Haraya.
Yeah, I know about it, but yeah.
Okay, let me share lang yung meaning ng Sine Haraya. So, kasi it might explain it more. So, Sine Haraya kasi, Haraya comes from the Filipino word Hiraya. So, Hiraya, a lot of 90s kids there, familiar sa Hiraya Manawari. So, it's really, when something is in your head, and it's so strong, and it's so real to you, that it manifests in physical form. So, Hiraya is any product or image or something that comes from your imagination. So, Sine naman comes from cine, cinematography, which means visuals. So, how do we marry those two? Kasi ang clients namin are actually creative. Everybody is creative.
The idea, what we want to, diba? What we want to come out.
Exactly. At saka who knows the company and the needs of the company best? Kung hindi yung client. We come in as experts in producing it, but we're not the expert ng company and needs niya.
Mission nila, right?
Exactly. So, the client already has it in his head, but maybe he's not technically capable of executing to make it real. So, that's where we come in. The visuals part of it, executing it, making it happen is where we come in. So, the discovery part and then the pegs, we might miscommunicate. If I say fun, young, and creative, it might look differently in your head versus mine. It's a difference in culture, in age, in what we grew up with, education. So, we need pegs. So, from the discovery, the script writing, we get the pegs. Now, okay, we understand what we mean by fresh. We understand what we mean by
so
young.
You're calibrated.
Yes,
Diba?
ika-calibrate mo.
Same page kayo.
Yes, you have to align. And then once you align, the easy part is actually the production. Kasi the communication is the hard part.
Right.
So once we produce, Then we give you the final product. It should give you the solution that you want.
Okay. Not design talaga. So what you're looking for, right? So you don't just come in, okay, let's do this, do this, do this. Exactly. Then later on.
I'm curious to know, what does Prevo mean naman? Kasi I shared with you what Sine Haraya means. Yes. Prevo, what does it mean?
We were talking about it earlier. But Prevo actually stands for Pro-Employee Voice. Because as I mentioned, we started as a consultancy firm, and I've been advocating for really giving employees or ang mga manggagawang Pinoy that voice so that they can be heard in terms of how management will develop programs, will offer, different things to their employees. Kasi a lot of times it's about the employer, diba? Yeah. So I think it's time na bigyan natin ng boses yung mga manggagawang Pinoy, and that's what we have been doing. We've been advocating for design thinking, especially in HR. Diba? Para hindi very mga HR kasi usually policy-centered. Hindi yan ang policy natin. Hindi yan ang gusto ng boss. Right? So you're losing the engagement of the people. And when people are disengaged, that's when they start being less productive. Diba? They perform poorer. So kailangan talaga pinapakinggan. So that's what Prevo stands for.
So parang you align yung why ng business and yung why ng employees kasi they have a life, they have goals. Exactly. And the business also has goals. So baka pag na-disalign, they might leave.
Pag masyadong puro employer, diba, na sa-sacrifice yung sa employee, then that's where you see that it's not balanced. Yeah.
Oh. That's a very noble job you do.
So it's interesting. Lalo na in the Philippines, ang daming kailangang baguhin in how we're treating the Filipino worker.
Actually, my company started as under my parents' company. Kasi I always knew I wanted to do business. Kaya no matter what happened talaga, sustaining the business talaga, hindi, gusto ko to. But it started out as me and my best friend. So we had a very toxic working life before. So we wanted to start our own and then get our own clients. So we did, but my best friend kasi, she has already a family. So she needed to provide for her family. So she couldn't do yung problems ng business. Alam mo, minsan walang client, minsan meron, hindi kaya. So I was left alone. And my weakness was actually sales and marketing. Can you imagine? Kasi dati production kami, weakness ko sales and marketing. So
I can relate to that.
Grabe. So I shifted. I left my business and then I tried to learn. I spent 2 years learning sales and marketing through a different industry altogether. And then when I came back, I wanted to do the business again. Pandemic hits. So we were not allowed to do shoots, nothing. Yeah. What we did was, my husband and I, we have the equipment, we have the skills. What can we do in our home, quarantine, that will, that is needed by the market? At that time, everybody had a food business. Everybody. I'm sure you experienced lahat na lang merong cookie business or any sort of food business.
Diba, online order ka.
So we offered food photography na studio. People delivered food to our apartment and we didn't have to do any groceries. There was a time. Yes.
I should start putting up that type of comment.
Masaya, ma'am, kasi you get to eat after. Di ba? There was a time somebody sent us 25 cakes and 1 pasta to shoot for 2 days. And then there was one client who wanted us to shoot yung chicken and sent 4 whole fried chickens. So the guards at our subdivision were so happy kasi we were always giving them food. It started there and then the demand just rolled in. So, and then now we've expanded to video production, which was my original business. We were doing videos with my best friend. And then now I came back to video production, AVPs, because, that's really where you communicate best, through video.
Especially now with social media, talagang video ang kinokonsume, right, ng mga tao. Yeah.
What about Prevo?
So for Prevo naman, it started when I returned to the Philippines because in 2018, I went to Australia to take my master's in human resource management. So when I was in Australia, I realized, ang galing naman nilang mag-alaga ng mga empleyado nila, right? That's probably the reason why workers in developed countries are more productive, they're highly performing, kasi talagang naaalagaan yung mga manggagawa. So I said, pwede ba nating dalhin to sa Philippines? You know, that's a big question mark, to be honest. But I realized, why not give it a shot? So I started Prevo when I returned to the Philippines in 2019. But at that time, I didn't really think of it as it's going to be a company talaga. I just really wanted to do it on the side because I also got corporate jobs then. I remember nga, my husband pa was the one fixing the, ano yun, yung mga labels, diba? Kasi we just had a home office then. Sabi ko, paano mo mag-start ng business? I also didn't know. I just know how HR works. I just know how training works. Everything else in running a business, I am so clueless. But here we are, and Prevo is thriving, and I really learned a lot along the way. We started as a consultancy firm, and now we're shifting to a tech solution. So it's really, really exciting. Maraming struggles, for sure, as you've experienced as well. But yeah.
So na-experience mo, ma'am, yung ikaw ang HR, finance, accounting?
Yes, yes. I would do everything, no? From doing proposals. I remember when we were starting, I will make proposals for 3 weeks. 3 weeks kong ginagawa yung isang proposal. So, ang tagal. Kasi I don't know how to create proposals, right? Or a compelling one para pirmahan ng kliyente. So, I had to learn that. Pero ngayon, we make proposals quickly. We have a team also in business development. Yun. So, yeah, I've experienced that. Wearing all the hats.
All the hats. When was the point, ma'am, na you realized you have to expand?
During the pandemic. You know, it's so surprising. Diba, a lot of companies probably had bad experiences during the pandemic. But for Prevo, we actually got that peak during the pandemic kasi we were doing digital learning. So walang pwedeng mag-training outside. Diba? So we did a lot of digital learning projects. At the same time, a lot of HR practices in the past weren't working in a work-from-home setup. So hinar kami ng mga companies to revisit their HR policies, their HR practices. Yon. So it was really a good time for us during the pandemic. So, yeah.
Parang sa amin din, no? Kasi it grew eh. It grew from there.
Exactly. But I think is you find the opportunity. I think that was key. Diba? Kasi you could look at it as, pandemic, anong gagawin ko? Or, pandemic, what can we do to build the business and move it forward?
Yeah.
Right?
A girl's gotta eat.
Exactly.
You have to find ways.
I know. That's the mindset, diba, pagka you're running a business. For Prevo, we are so happy to offer or give an exclusive offer to PHILSME members. So if you are a PHILSME member, we'll give you 60 days free access to Prevo Pro. That's the premium subscription to our site, and you'll have access to all these learning programs that are relatable, local. It's the most important thing, and really accessible. So just send us an email. Can I say the email here? info@prevo.org, and our team will help you out with that. So that's it. Hopefully, more SMEs would avail of our services so you can make learning and development accessible for your employees. How about you, Hannah?
Let me be the first to sign up, ma'am.
Yes.
That's so generous. Kasi 60 days, that's a lot of, so many changes can happen. Exactly. Yeah, thank you so much for that offer, ma'am. For Sine Haraya, we are offering a low down payment offer for PHILSME members, which is just 10,000 pesos. And then you can book any date within 2025. Maybe we can extend since it's already, sabihin ba yung time or month? Okay lang. So since it's already February, So since it's already February of 2025, so we can extend it up to March 2026. So it's low down payment, 10,000 pesos only, and then you can book any day. So let's discover where your needs are and how we can help you solve your marketing problems for you.
I love it.
Yeah.
If I will share a message, I mean, just taking it from my experience as an entrepreneur, especially a woman entrepreneur, since we're entering the Women's Month, I think what has helped me in running a company is your obsession to the problem. Be obsessed with the problem. So if you want to put up a business, or if you have a business and you want to sustain it, I think what has helped me is really have to be obsessed with the client's problem, not your solution. Kasi that's a lesson that I learned over time. Na sometimes if you're a solution provider, you think, you're the best. You know all of these things. Pero ang question is, yung alam mo ba or yung ino-offer mo ba is addressing a problem. Right? So you really have to get to know. So I like what you said kanina. You really have to do the discovery call, really get to know the client. You have to be obsessed with what their problems are so that you could truly add value, to your client or to your customer. So yeah, that's a big lesson for me as an entrepreneur. About you?
Siguro for me, I'll start with a very short story. So, as I mentioned, yung business ko was under someone's corporation. So I felt like in 2023, I was ready. I mean, 2012 to 2023, I felt like, 11 years, I should be ready by this time. So I registered the business, I built my website, and I hired my first employees. And then the problems started rolling in. Being serious in business, saying you're ready, thinking you're ready, and then actually doing it. Very, very different things. Very, very different things. The problems you will face are very different. Number one I can share is taxation. Taxation and accounting. I tried learning it all. Again, I started with wearing all the hats. I did hire my employees, pero I still felt like everything to do with managing the business, operating the business, I can do myself. Kasi I've been doing it for 11 years anyway. So I'm just adding one more employee. What's the difference? Nako, hindi talaga. So siguro my advice would be, instead of suffering like pulling your hair in the middle of the night and crying inside the CR, just hire experts for that. So it's a scary step.
Learn how to delegate then, diba?
Right.
Get help.
Get help. I felt like I was saving money by doing it myself. Parang, we're not ready to spend for that. We're not ready to spend for that. I'd rather spend my money here or there, buy new equipment for better production. But you won't get to the point of producing anything or getting more clients. Kasi you're so busy and you're drained emotionally thinking about the problems na hindi ka naman expert doon. Wag mo na ipagpilitan na gawin yung accounting yourself. Wag mo na pagpilitan na gawin yung HR things yourself, the accounting yourself. These are things, there are people with licenses to do these things for a reason. Yes. Why don't you spend your time being productive in being a business person? Diba, manage your business. Don't do the small nitty-gritty things that take you away from your employees, take you away from your clients. Just be a business person, and then your business will grow. And you'll be able to pay for those people who help you out. So for me, siguro yun yung advice.
Tsaka there's that humility that you have to embrace that. Because a lot of people think, hindi, kaya ko yan. Diba? Hindi, kaya ko yan. Alam ko yan. Madali lang yan. But the truth is, it's taking time, lalo na if you're, for example, for me, I have a family. Napaka-careful ko rin dyan because I don't want to get to a point where I feel I'm the burnout, diba? Because otherwise, it will affect you personally.
That's true. And it's a lot of people don't believe it, but it's real. Yung mental burden, yung load in your head, even when you're, sabi mo, okay, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna spend time with my family. Pero you have all these accounting things and taxes na may penalty in your head, you're not gonna be present. So there's really no sense, worrying about these things. Just be the healthy version na negosyante na will be able to make this whole organization prosper. You have to be that.
Stay tuned for a few messages from the sponsors that made this episode happen.
Imagine your business not just reaching its goals, but surpassing them. With Esquire Financing, that vision is not just a possibility, it's reality. Get the cash your business needs in as fast as 3 days, making your barriers become stepping stones. Our partnership is a sure success.
Looking to elevate your brand and product to the next level? Connect with Cube Digital Smart Locker. Cube offers smart locker ownership, partnership, and franchising opportunities for current and future business partners. Integrate your brand and products with Cube Digital Smart Locker for a future-ready world. Visit www.cubesmartlockers.com to learn more. Experience innovation. The future is here.
Okay, so mine is a cheesy one. I had to Google. Okay, so why did the marketer bring a ladder to work?
Why?
Because he wanted to reach more people.
Ah.
Nakaka-stress siya. Okay, Miss Marby.
Okay na yun. I'm so proud of you, Hannah.
Thank you. It took a lot of guts to say that joke.
Know, right? That's why we're in this work, diba? We're not comedian. Okay, so for me naman, knock knock. I have a joke as well. Knock knock.
Who's there?
One.
One who?
Well, there's always one reason for you to take advantage of Prevo services. Nag-plug pa rin. Hindi pa rin joke. I know, right? Kaya tayo negosyante. But yeah, there are many reasons, 1, 2 more reasons for you to avail our services. So just check out our site, that's prevo.org.
And it's not just one reason, it's a reason to want it.
We're inviting everyone to the PHILSME Business Expo. We're hoping to meet other SMEs during the event, and hopefully we'll be able to share what we do and how we could also help your business thrive in the challenging world we're living in today. So yeah, see you there.
So I think I mentioned this dun sa interview ko. PHILSME will try to push me away, but I will still be there sa Philippine Business Expo. I will see you there, and we are very ready to listen also about your businesses and how we can collaborate, how I can help you and how you can help us also grow. That's why we're here, kasi we want to all grow as a community, and for sure we will see you there.
If you like this show, like and tap the follow button. Please feel free to leave us a review before you go, as this will definitely help more SME business owners in the Philippines. Thank you. Until the next episode.